Good afternoon. I'm Phil Hatlem, instructor of sport business at St. Leo University in Florida. And today I'm going to talk briefly about Minneapolis's mid-century quest for the games ahead of its time. In 2014, the International Olympic Committee adopted Olympic Agenda 2020, a set of 40 detailed recommendations whose goal was to safeguard the Olympic values and strengthen the role of sport in society. Included in these recommendations was a requirement for Olympic hosts to make maximum use of existing venues. This certainly fits in line with the IOC's sustainability initiatives. The images of abandoned and decrepit venues built for previous games is disheartening. Thus, it is understandable for the IOC to pursue maximum use of existing venues as a goal. And the upcoming host cities have responded. Looking ahead, just 5% of the venues for Paris 2024 will be new, and this figure will fall to 0% for Los Angeles 2028. The use of existing venues is not, however, a new concept. An interesting case is the bid by Minneapolis for the 1952 Summer Games, which ultimately went to Helsinki. Following a failed bid for the 1948 Games, the initial 1952 bid document for Minneapolis, an invitation for Minneapolis for the Games of the 15th Olympiad, details plans to use mostly existing facilities, some still viable today, over 70 years later. The following is a look at 4 of the venues that the Minneapolis organizers highlighted in their initial bid document for the 1952 Games. We'll start with the University of Minnesota Stadium. Opened in 1924, Memorial Stadium served as the home of the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers football team for 57 years. The stadium was dedicated to the 3,500 university workers and graduates who served in World War I, 98 of whom died in service. The horseshoe-shaped stadium had an initial capacity for 56,000 spectators. The Games organizers promised that with additional seating, more than 65,000 Olympic visitors would be able to take in the opening and closing ceremonies, plus the athletics competitions. In 1982, the University of Minnesota football team left the campus stadium and moved to Minneapolis's new downtown dome stadium, the Metrodome. Then in 1989, Memorial Stadium on campus was demolished to make room for a new ice hockey arena. The next venue that still stands today is the University of Minnesota Fieldhouse. Now known as Williams Arena, the University of Minnesota Fieldhouse opened in 1928. The original building housed basketball and winter football practice facilities. When the basketball season was completed, the portable floor was taken out and replaced by a pair of tennis courts and an indoor track. The Minneapolis organizers envisioned the Fieldhouse as just one of many existing facilities to house multiple indoor events for the 1952 Summer Games, including basketball and gymnastics. Now, after numerous renovations, Williams Arena is still the home of Gopher basketball. In fact, from 1950 until 1971, it had the largest capacity of any collegiate basketball arena in the United States. The next venue is the Minneapolis Auditorium. The auditorium opened in 1927, stating that it was built for a community knit together by common needs with a common devotion directing its common life. The highlight of the grand opening was the unveiling of a Kimball pipe organ known as the Voice of Minneapolis. It was the 4th largest pipe organ in the world at the time, consisting of 10,000 handcrafted pipes and weighing over 30 tons. In 1947, Minneapolis acquired a new professional basketball franchise and its home was the Minneapolis Auditorium. This was the Minneapolis Lakers, with the legendary George Mikan at its helm. However, in 1959, the team moved away from Minneapolis and became another team you may have heard of, the Los Angeles Lakers. Despite the 1952 games not coming to Minneapolis, the auditorium did host many other memorable events throughout the years. Musical acts that have played there include, in no particular order, Johnny Cash, Jefferson Airplane, Ray Charles, the Moody Blues, Aretha Franklin, Simon and Garfunkel, Jimi Hendrix, The Doors, and Elvis Presley. In 1989, the Minneapolis Auditorium was demolished to make way for the new and current Minneapolis Convention Center, one of the largest convention centers in the Midwest. Another venue, like Williams Arena, still standing today, is the Minneapolis Armory. The Minneapolis Armory was considered one of the greatest examples of WPA buildings in Minnesota and throughout the country. In 1935, the Minneapolis Star reported that its stalwart, fortress-like design combines practicality with architectural beauty. Almost every line, every visual panel is functional yet beautiful and an integral part of the whole. All the materials used for the building were produced by local companies. More than 27 units of the Minnesota National Guard and the Naval Militia used the Armory as a drill training center, with the building set up to host battle simulations for both groups. However, the Armory was also equipped with athletic facilities that members of the Guard and other public groups could use for sporting events, political conventions, trade shows, and concerts. In the 1980s, the musical group The Police, led by Sting, played there, and Minneapolis native Prince shot the music video for his 1999 album there. In 1989, Hennepin County bought the Armory with intent to demolish it to make room for a new county jail, but the Supreme Court ruled the county was not authorized to tear down the Armory because of its historic status and as an example of WPA modern architecture. Today, the Armory is still used for a variety of activities, including hosting supporting concerts and meetings for many major sporting events, such as the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, the X Games, the Super Bowl, and the NCAA Division I basketball men's and women's Final Fours. One more venue that was proposed for the 1952 Summer Olympic Games in Minneapolis and does still exist today is the Mississippi River. Adjacent to the University of Minnesota campus, the rowing course on the river was the site of the National Rowing Association Regatta in 1941, in which 65 crews competed. The 1952 Games organizers believed it to be a classic rowing site. So despite not being awarded the 1952 Summer Games, Minneapolis deserves a place in Olympic history for promoting sustainability long before it was an Olympic ideal. Future bid cities would be wise to take a lesson from this more than 70-year-old bid and look to include existing venues for the Games, just as Paris is doing for 2 years down the line and LA in 28 has done. Thank you.